Hello friends, welcome to Affairs Cloud Learn to Lead. This is Ashu and today we will discuss very important current affairs of 4th of December 2020. You can see here two best images of the day, but today we will discuss 9 to 10 very important and the most important current affairs of the day. So watch the video till the end. But before proceeding, I want to discuss about Affairs Cloud subscription. That you can buy our Affairs Cloud subscription with two methods. You can basically visit our website, that is affairscloud.com/current affairs, or you can go to the description box of this video. Under the description box, you will get a link, and by clicking on that link, you will directly visit that page of the subscription. What you will get in the subscription? You will get the daily wise PDF. In the daily wise PDF, you will get the theoretical current affair as well as the question and answer format current affairs. Next section is the weekly PDF, and in the weekly PDF you can see here that all the current affairs arranged according to the week. Next is the weekly test, guys, and it is very important for those aspirants who want to evaluate yourself that how much current affair you can retain or not. Next is the monthly PDF section. That is the most important according to me, because in the monthly PDF you will get the 5 PDFs. One is related to the theoretical current affairs of the month. Second is the question and answer PDF. Again, it is very important because all the theoretical current affairs will be provided to you in the form of question and answer, so that you can revise and retain the current affairs for long time period. Next is the pocket PDF. As the name suggests, that you can revise the current affairs before your exam very quickly. Next is the banking, finance and the economy PDF. It is very important for those aspirants who are preparing for the banking exam. And last but not the least, that is the question and answer PDF top 100. It means top 100 current affairs will be provided to you of that particular month, and it is provided to you in the form of question and answer. So these all things come under one subscription, guys, and this subscription comes at very minimal cost. If you see the price, you will definitely surprise, and on that minimal price we are providing you 10% extra discount. And on that 10% discount, it means if you use this code ASH10, then you will get this 10% extra discount. And these current affairs are available in Hindi as well as in English. So let's start today's current affair, that is the 4th of December, and here is our first question. Which state hosted 9th International Sand Art Festival? Now the most important keyword under this question is the International Sand Art Festival. And guys, the answer is very simple. The state is Odisha. I am repeating again, the answer is Odisha. It means the 9th International Sand Art Festival is hosted by Odisha, and Odisha is very important state. And guys, you can see in the picture that 9th edition of the International Sand Art Festival, that is Chandrabhaga beach of Konark, Odisha's Puri district. It means on which beach it is launched. You can say that it is the Chandrabhaga beach of Konark, Odisha. It means one more important question you can remember here, that Chandrabhaga beach is in which state? That is in Odisha. And it is in which district of the Odisha? That is in the Puri district. So remember these important things. You can see here 9th edition of the International Sand Art Festival at Chandrabhaga Beach in Odisha Puri district with 31st Konark Dance Festival. It means there is one more festival in the Odisha, that is the Konark, because everyone knows that Konark temple is situated in the Odisha. Konark temple is situated in the Odisha. And guys, who built this Konark temple or Sun temple? It is also known as the Sun temple. It is also known as Black Pagoda. Remember, it is also known as the Black Pagoda. And Odisha is very important for the temples, because there is one more temple, that is the Jagannath Puri temple. Jagannath Puri temple. This temple is known as the White Pagoda. And remember, Konark temple is known as the Black Pagoda, and it is built by Ganga dynasty ruler Narasimha Deva I. Ganga dynasty ruler, that is Narasimha Deva I. So remember these vital information which I am telling you. The Sand Art Festival displays spectacular sand art sculpted by the skillful artists from India and around the world. So by default, if there is a festival, then even out of India, so many artists will come to even join and see that event. Theme of 2020 event, that is again important, environment and COVID-19. Remember the theme and remember 2 times. The 13th century Sun temple at Konark is dedicated to Hindu sun god Surya. Sun god Surya. Many times examiner asks this type of the question, that this Konark temple dedicated to which god. So remember, it is dedicated to Surya. And who built this? That is King Narasimha Deva I under the Ganga dynasty. Under the Ganga dynasty, it is also known as the Black Pagoda and the Konark temple. And there is one more another temple, that is the Jagannath Puri, and it is dedicated to Vishnu. And Jagannath Puri is also known as the White Pagoda. So these are the very, very important questions which I told you. And one more important thing, he's very renowned sand artist that is known as Sudarshan Patnaik. Remember the name? I think you know Sudarshan Patnaik. Very famous sand artist, and even he received Padam Shri award. He received Padam Shri award, and he became the chief curator of this event. Chief curator of this event is the Sudarshan Patnaik. And if you belong to Odisha, then this question is also important for you guys. And Odisha state is, guys, very important because of the national park and the biosphere reserve. You have to remember there is a Bhitarkanika National Park, which is Bhitarkanika National Park. There is a Simli-Pal Biosphere Reserve. Remember, Simli-Pal Biosphere Reserve is also in Odisha. There is a Olive Turtle Protection Center also in Odisha. There is a very famous dam in Odisha, that is the Hirakud Dam. Remember, Hirakud Dam, that is the longest dam of India. And Hirakud Dam is on which river? That is on Mahanadi River. So remember these things, these are very important. I am repeating again: Bhitarkanika National Park, Simli-Pal Biosphere Reserve, Hirakud Dam, longest dam of India, and it is situated on which river? That is on Mahanadi River. And one recent information about the Odisha, that Odisha launched first of its kind scheme that is known as the Balram scheme. Remember this name of this scheme, Balram scheme. And why the Odisha started this type of the scheme? For the landless farmers, to provide some type of the credit facility to the landless farmers. Remember the name of the scheme, this is the key point, that is the Balram scheme. So now we are moving to the next question. NABARD signs MOU with SBI to take up joint intervention project in which state? I am repeating again the question. NABARD signs MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, with SBI. It means there are two banks. One is related to the agriculture, that is National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development, and second is the SBI, to take up joint intervention projects in which state? And mark under very important question, especially for those aspirants who are preparing for the banking exam, because two banks are involved under this news. And the state is, guys, Karnataka. State is Karnataka, and both the organizations started joint intervention projects for the Karnataka. Remember this. You can see here NABARD, SBI, Inc. MOU for the livelihood intervention projects in Karnataka, especially for the Karnataka. The two institutions to take up joint intervention project in the state. NABARD through this MOU aims to provide grant support, concessional refinance, and undertake capacity building of the stakeholders of various livelihood interventions that is promoted by NABARD. So it looks difficult. I am simplifying this, that with this MOU, NABARD and SBI, both the organizations anticipate to associate together to merge their ongoing development initiatives. Any type of the ongoing development initiatives, they are basically intervening on that ongoing development initiatives and make them better. So what is the role of SBI there? The MOU enables SBI to act as an implementing agency for digitalizing NABARD self-help groups, so that everyone can benefit that type of the schemes which are started by the NABARD. It means these type of the digitalization in the self-help groups facilitate the availability of credit to the self-help groups to promote livelihood. So in very simple word, you can say the NABARD will provide the funds to the Karnataka farmers, or you can say the any type of the livelihood programs, tribal affairs, and you can say the watershed management, any type of the program. And SBI will become the implementing agency for digitalization the NABARD. So these are very important words which I am telling you. So mark under the important section. Now here two organizations are very important. One is the NABARD, second is SBI. First, I am telling you about NABARD, that NABARD was established in 1982 to basically control all the rural banks, so that maximum to maximum credit facility can be provided to the farmers. 1982. And who is currently chairman? That is G.R. Chintala. Remember G.R. Chintala. He is currently chairman of NABARD, remember. And where is the headquarter? Many students mark this answer New Delhi, but remember the answer is Mumbai. Answer is Mumbai. NABARD headquarter is in Mumbai. And now what about SBI? SBI was established in 1955 by the SBI Act of 1955 on 1st July. On 1st July, not the 1st April. And where is the headquarter? I think all students know about this. That headquarter is in Mumbai, Maharashtra. And chairman, that is very important question, and it will definitely come in the exam. That Dinesh Kumar Khara. Dinesh Kumar Khara. And otherwise they can ask about the former chairman, and he was Rajneesh Kumar. Now most important thing here is the SBI taglines. There are so many taglines which are related to the SBI. I am repeating one or two, like the banker to every Indian. The banker to every Indian. Next is with you all the way. With you all the way. Next, purely banking, nothing else. Purely banking, nothing else. Next is the nation bank on us. The nation banks on us. Or you can remind one more, that a bank of a common man. A bank of a common man. I am repeating again the 5 taglines. The banker to every Indian. The banker to every Indian. Next, with you all the way. Next, purely banking, nothing else. The nation banks on us. A bank of a common man. A bank of a common man. Remember these taglines related to the SBI. And one more important thing about NABARD, that NABARD recently started a program named as WASH. This is very important question. I already covered this question, but I am reminding you that NABARD started a program that is in October 2020, that is known as the WASH program. WASH stand for water, sanitization and hygiene. Remember, water, W stands for water, S stands for sanitization, and H stands for the hygiene. And this program is started by the NABARD. Remember this. This is very important for the NABARD and the exams. So very important. Move to next question. Which state has proposed to establish its 6th national park, the Raimona National Park of the state? And mark under the most important section, because we every day discuss about the national parks, and now it is the government that is proposing a 6th national park in which state? That is the Raimona National Park. And guys, state is very important. State is Assam. Remember, the Assam government has proposed to establish the 6th national park, that is known as the Raimona National Park. So we will revise every day when the Assam names come. So now we will include the Raimona National Park so that you can remember. Now there are so many national parks in Assam, like you already know that there are already 5 national parks in Assam. One is Kaziranga National Park. Remember Kaziranga National Park. Manas National Park. There is a Dibru-Saikhowa. It is also a biosphere reserve. Remember, out of 18, one biosphere reserve is in Assam. Dibru-Saikhowa. Next is Orang National Park. Orang. Last one is the Nameri. These all 5 are in the Assam. Kaziranga National Park, Manas, Dibru-Saikhowa, Orang, and the Nameri National Parks. These all are in Assam. Now there will be one more, that is Raimona National Park. You can see here that Assam proposes 6th National Park Raimona map unveiled. This is basically the map of the Raimona National Park. So this is very important news you have to remember, and they are basically creating this park out of the Ripu Reserved Forest. You can remember if you belongs to the Assam, otherwise no need to remember. And who is the Chief Minister of Assam? That is Sarabnanda Sonowal. And who is the Governor of the Assam? That is Jagdish Mukhi. Remember, he is currently the Governor of Assam. Now move to next question. Which country hosted the 6th BRICS Youth Summit 2020 opening ceremony? Mark under the most important, because we are talking about the BRICS Youth Summit. And you know, BRICS chairmanship of 2020 lies with Russia. So it is very simple question, and it becomes the most important question. And it is hosted by the Russia. And remember, in 2021, this chairmanship of BRICS goes to India. Remember these things. And the G20 chairmanship with India 2023. India will chair the G20 in 2023. Remember this thing. This is again very important. So you can see here, 6th BRICS Youth Summit 2020 opening ceremony and a meeting of BRICS minister was held in Ulyanovsk, Russia. Remember the place. You can remember this place also, because sometimes examiner asks the exact place rather than the country. So remember the place. Ulyanovsk. Remember Ulyanovsk. Union Minister of Youth, BRICS and Sports, Kiran Rijiju, that is our Union Minister, virtually addressed the 6th BRICS Youth Summit 2020 on behalf of India. By default, the Sports Ministry will attend this event. Theme of 6th BRICS Youth Summit 2020, BRICS, that is challenges of the time for young people. Remember the theme, because sometimes examiner can ask the theme. Challenges of the time for young people. Main aim of this basically ceremony, or the, you can say, the summit, youth is in economic, political, humanitarian and information, scientific and technological cooperation amongst the BRICS countries, so that maximum to maximum youth can participate in these type of the activities around the BRICS countries, that is Brazil, Russia, India, China and the South Africa. Now, most important keyword under this question is BRICS Youth Summit. You have to remember BRICS Youth Summit, and this BRICS group is formed in 2009. BRICS group is formed in 2009, and this is the 12th, you can say, the BRICS Summit, who is hosted by the Russia. In 2021, it will be hosted by India. And one more important thing which will host by India in 2021, that is BRICS Games. Remember, BRICS Games 2021, it will be held along with the Khelo India Youth Games. It will be held along with Khelo India Youth Games, which is already proposed in the Haryana, and in Haryana it will be held in Panchkula. So remember this vital information. This is again very important for you. Now moving to next question. Which company partners with Surya Uday Small Finance Bank to offer instant digital loans to MSMEs, that is micro, small and medium enterprises? Which company partners with Surya Uday Small Finance Bank to offer instant digital loans to MSMEs? And this company is, guys, Paytm. And mark under the very important question, and company name is very important, Paytm. You can see here in the picture that Paytm partners with Surya Uday Small Finance Bank to offer instant digital loans to MSMEs, micro, small, medium enterprises. It means they are supporting the small businessmen. You can see here, Paytm partner with Surya Uday Small Finance Bank Limited to offer collateral free. It means no need to anything pledge to the bank. Instant digital loans to the MSMEs. This is the first lending partnership for Paytm. This is the important keyword, that it is the first lending partnership for Paytm with a small finance bank to help merchants to avail loans seamlessly. It means without collateral, they can avail some type of the loan from this small finance bank with the help of the Paytm. Paytm and Surya Uday Small Finance Bank aims to disperse loans to more than 1 lakh small businesses. It means they are covering almost 1 lakh small businessmen in the next 12 to 18 months through its partnership. The news is very simple, that just they want to create some credit facility, or want to provide some credit facility to the micro, small and medium enterprises, so that due to the COVID-19, the slowdown business can grow up. So this is the main aim of this partnership. And guys, remember the company name, that is Paytm, very important. Where is the headquarter of Paytm? Headquarter is in Noida. Who is the founder and CEO? That is Vijay Shekhar. Remember who is the founder? Vijay Shekhar. He is also the founder and currently the Chief Executive Officer of Paytm. And this Paytm was founded in 2010. Remember these three very important things, and headquarter and founder is very important. So next is the important company here is the Surya Uday Small Finance Bank. Remember, it is again very important. This was started in 2017. Remember the tagline of this small finance bank: a bank of smiles. A bank of smiles. A new tagline and a unique tagline, a bank of smiles. Remember, this is very important. Now moving to next question. Where is the headquarter of International Financial Services Center Authority? This is very important question. Recently, this organization, that is International Financial Service Center Authority, obtained membership of International Association of Insurance Supervisors. Remember, they obtained the membership of International Association of Insurance Supervisor, IAIS. IFSCA, it means IFSCA can access the global network of IAIS and would be able to exchange ideas and information relating to insurance with other global regulators. So it is benefit to become member of this organization. And where is the headquarter? That is Gandhinagar. And who is the first chairman? Because this organization is created in 2020. That's why here is a first chairman, that is Injetti Srinivas. Remember, I covered this question so many times, but I am asking again and again because this question is very important and even you can mark under the most important. Gandhinagar, headquarters is in Gandhinagar, and who is the first chairman? Injetti Srinivas. You can see here that is GIFT City, Gujarat International Finance Tech City, and IFSCA membership of International Association of Insurance Supervisors. Now, what is the benefit to become a member of this organization? I already told you that it can assess International Association of Insurance Supervisors global network and would be able to exchange ideas and information related to insurance with the other global regulators. You can see here, International Financial Services Center Authority obtained membership of International Association of Insurance Supervisor, and they will provide the global network and would be able to exchange ideas and information related to insurance with other global regulators. And one more important thing, this membership will aid in developing a global insurance hub in the International Financial Service Center from current 17 entities and at Gujarat International Finance Tech Cities, which is also known as the GIFT City. Now, in simple words, you can say maximum to maximum insurance companies can reach to the IFSCA so that they can provide the services to the other insurance companies. So this is the basically motive that maximum to maximum companies can attach to the International Financial Service Center, and these companies should be related to the insurance sector. And Injetti Srinivas was the appointment as the first chairman. So there are two things, or you can say the three things which are very important. One is the this organization become the member of the International Association of Insurance Supervisor. Second, where is the headquarter? Gandhinagar. And second, who is the first chairman? Injetti Srinivas. These three things are the takeaway points from this question. Remember. Move to next question. Razorpay and which company partnered to enable seamless international payments for Indian MSMEs and freelancers? So mark under the very important section because there are two companies under this news. One is the Razorpay. Second, you have to tell me that which company partnered with the Razorpay to enable seamless international payments for Indian MSMEs and freelancers, so that it is very helpful for those persons who want to basically tie up with the international firms or who want to do the international payments. It means to help MSMEs and freelancers to accept international payments on cards through payment gateways. It means it is very simple that Indian MSMEs hope to recover from the challenges caused by the COVID-19 due to pandemic by leveraging digital technologies. It means by using digital technologies, they believe that this helps them increase their revenue. This helps them to increase their revenues. So, and this company is PayPal. Remember, this company is PayPal, and you can see here Razorpay and PayPal partner to help Indian MSMEs and freelancers go global. It means they can now basically use the international platform payment system by the method of the PayPal. You can see here, Razorpay and PayPal partner to enable Indian MSMEs, micro, small and medium enterprises and freelancers to seamlessly accept international payments. So it means Razorpay customers can now do the international transactions to the PayPal platform. This removes the need to write a single line of code. The integration of PayPal into Razorpay payment platform enables Indian small businesses and freelancers to go global. The businesses of all sizes can enable over 333 million PayPal users across 200 markets worldwide through the PayPal wallet. It means they can do the transactions at international level also at the PayPal wallet. MSMEs and freelancers can accept the international payment in a convenient and the secure manner. And even the waiting time for the approval is reduced from days to minutes. Earlier, they have to wait for the days, but now the transactions can be done in the minutes through the PayPal network. This is the main tie-up under this companies, and this is one of the fastest way to accept the digital payments. Remember this. And as per a recent study, you can see due to the COVID-19, India saw a 46% increase in the new freelancers who are working from home. And if they want any payments from the international market, then they can use this PayPal network. This is the basic platform of the international transaction, that is PayPal and the Razorpay. Remember, these two tie up for the international payments. And Razorpay, you can remember this company because these type of the news are in transition from so long time period, and Razorpay is a very important company and its headquarter is in Bengaluru. Remember, Razorpay headquarter is in Bengaluru. And what about PayPal? PayPal headquarter is in California, USA. Remember, California, USA. Move to next question. Which company topped in 2020 Fortune 500 ranking list of Indian companies? You can mark under the most important or the very important question, because this company topped in 2020 Fortune 500. This type of the question asked in so many exams. So that's why you can mark under the most important question also. Fortune 500 ranking list of Indian companies, and they only rank the 500 Indian companies. And top company is the Reliance Industries Limited. Remember, Reliance Industries Limited is on the top, and second rank goes to the Indian Oil Corporation Limited. Indian Oil Corporation Limited. Third rank goes to the Oil and Natural Gas Corporation, and fourth rank goes to the SBI. You can remember the SBI rank because of the banking exam, but you have to remember this Reliance Industries Limited. You can see here, it is the Fortune India 500 list of Indian companies, and Reliance Industries Limited tops in the list, and Indian Oil Corporation on the second spot. And I think all students know about the Reliance, that headquarter is in Mumbai, Maharashtra, and who is the chairman and managing director, that is the Mukesh Ambani. So no need to remember, just remember the name of the company, that is Reliance Industries. Recently, one more important thing about this publication, that is Forbes publication released the global billionaires list, and Jeff Bezos for the third time topped this list, that is the global billionaires list 2020, and Jeff Bezos becomes the on the first spot. And remember this, this is very important. And Mukesh Ambani in that list is on the 17th number. 17th number is of the Mukesh Ambani. Remember this. Very important, guys. Remember. Move to next question. Recently, who is appointed as the ambassador of Fit India movement? Because yesterday I covered this news that Fit India campaign is started by Kiran Rijiju, and now who is appointed as the ambassador of Fit India movement? Very important question. Mark under very important, and answer is very simple. That is Kuldeep Handu. Remember, Kuldeep Handu. And I think you are listening the Kuldeep Handu name first time. So let's talk about Kuldeep Handu. You can see the picture of the Kuldeep Handu appointed as the Prime Minister Fit India Movement Ambassador. He is a Dronacharya awardee, and you can remember he belongs to Srinagar, or you can say the Jammu and Kashmir. He was Srinagar born Wushu coach. What is Wushu? Wushu is a type of martial art also known as the Chinese Kung Fu. And he was the first Dronacharya awardee from the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. That's why he was appointed as a motivator to the youth, and he was appointed as a Fit India campaign ambassador. A former Wushu athlete who won 11 gold medals in the national and the 6 international stage in the Wushu coach of Team India. That's why he was awarded as the Dronacharya Award. So remember, Dronacharya Award is for the outstanding coaches in the sports and games by the Ministry of Youth Affairs and the Sports. Remember this. And under the guidance of this person, that is Kuldeep Handu, so many players, so many athletes have won the gold medals and the world championship and in the World Cup. So that's why he became the ambassador of the Fit India campaign. Remember about Wushu, remember about the Wushu coach, and the name of the UT, that is Jammu and Kashmir. So here is Jammu and Kashmir. Who is the lieutenant or the lieutenant governor of Jammu and Kashmir? That is Manoj Sinha. Remember, Manoj Sinha is currently lieutenant governor of the Jammu and Kashmir. Move to next question. IAF, that is Indian Air Force, carries out firing of Russian origin short range missile. It means the Indian Air Force recently tested Russian origin short range missile. What is the name of this missile? And the missile name is the Igla or the Igla. Remember, Igla missile or the Igla missile. You can remember by any pronunciation, but this is pronounced as a Igla missile. You can see here, IF carries out firing of 2 missiles. One is the Akash and second is the Igla. Akash is basically indigenous missile. It means it is prepared in India by the DRDO. And Igla is a Russian-based missile. And India tested both. And they are tested in Surya Lanka in Andhra Pradesh. You can see here, Indian Air Force carried out the firing of indigenously developed Akash missile system, that is surface to air missile, and Russian origin short range Igla missile, that is also surface to air missile, as a part of drill which took place at the Air Force Station in Surya Lanka in the Andhra Pradesh. So there are two things you have to remember. One is the Akash missile, it is surface to air missile. Second is Igla missile, it is a Russian missile and it is also a surface to air missile. Both tested at Surya Lanka, Andhra Pradesh. Akash is a nuclear capable missile defense system which was developed by the DRDO and one company, that is Bharat Dynamics Limited. Maxim missiles are built by the Bharat Dynamics Limited and the DRDO combinedly. The Igla missile, I already told you, it is a Russian man-made infrared homing. It is also a surface to air missile. So there are 3 or 4 takeaway points. One is the Akash missile, that is surface to air missile. Igla missile, that is Russian missile, but it is also surface to air missile. Next thing, there is an organization named as the DRDO. So all you know, DRDO is very important organization because who is the chairman of DRDO? That is G. Satish Reddy. Remember, DRDO chairman is G. Satish Reddy. And where is the headquarter of DRDO? That is New Delhi. Maximum students marking this answer as a Bengaluru. But remember, Bengaluru is a headquarter of ISRO, not the DRDO. So much confusion about the DRDO and the ISRO. And this is DRDO, remember. And who is the Chief of Air Staff? Because we are talking about the Indian Air Force, and Chief of Air Staff is Rakesh Kumar Singh Bhaduria. Rakesh Kumar Singh Bhaduria. Remember these vital informations because these are very important for your exam. Recently, one more important thing, that Indian Air Force Chief, that is Air Marshal Chief Rakesh Kumar Singh Bhaduria, launched the mobile application, that is MyIAF. Remember, MyIAF, to provide career related information and details in IAF to the aspirants who want to join the IAF. That app is very useful for that aspirants. So remember MyIAF. Move to next question, that India's men cricket team tour of Australia 2020-21, under which they are playing the one-day crickets, T20s and also the test crickets, and the 3-match one-day series won by the Australia. Remember, 3-match one-day series won by Australia. It is not so much important because tournament is still going on. Today is the first T20 match between the India and Australia. So let's see who won the T20 and the test cricket matches. But ongoing news, so that's why I covered that Australia won the Ditol ODI series, defeating India by the 2-1. You can remember this. Move to next question. Recently, Zafar Ullah Zamali passed away. He was the former Prime Minister of which country? Just keyword point is the Zafar Ullah Zamali. The name is very important and mark under the very important section, and he was Prime Minister of Pakistan. He was Prime Minister of Pakistan. You can see here the picture of the Zafar Ullah Zamali. He dies recently and he dies in the Rawalpindi, Pakistan. Rawalpindi, Pakistan. You can also remember one thing, that he was Prime Minister of Pakistan from 2002 to 2004. 2002 to 2004 he was Prime Minister for the Pakistan, and he was just for the 1 year 7 months, just remember. And he belongs to the Baluchistan area. He was also the former Chief Minister of the Baluchistan in the Pakistan. And one more important thing about Pakistan, that what is the capital of Pakistan? It is Islamabad. President, who is the president? Because president is very unknown personality in the Pakistan, because the Prime Minister is the supreme, and all you know, the Prime Minister is Imran Khan, and president is Arif Alvi. Arif Alvi. He is currently the president of the Pakistan. And what is the name of the national river of Pakistan? That is Indus. You can remember these information and mark under very important. Next, again, former French President Valéry Giscard d'Estaing. Just remember the name, Valéry Giscard. Valéry Giscard dies. He served as the President of France from 1974 to 1981. 1974 to 1981, and he died at very good age, that is 94. At 94. At his residence in the France. He was basically very much ill due to the COVID-19 complications. Very much ill due to the COVID-19 complications. Remember the time period 1974 to 1981 and the name Valéry Giscard d'Estaing. Just remember the picture so that you can remind the name. Now next is the International Day for the Abolition of Slavery. That is very important day and marked under the very important section, and it is celebrated or basically observed on the 2nd of December. Why this day is celebrated? It is observed with an aim to eradicate the modern form of slavery like human trafficking, like selling and purchasing of human beings, sexual exploitation, child labor, forced marriage, forced recruitment of the children for armed conflicts, or you can say any type of the child or the child exploitation, any type of the, because under article 23 and 24 of Indian constitution, you can say it is prohibiting the slavery and also the human trafficking, slavery and the human trafficking, and also the child labor below the age of 14, child labor below the age of 14, or any hazardous work. So it is the Indian article 23 and 24 which is against exploitation, and it is a fundamental right of every human being in India. Remember this. And it is the International Day for Abolition of Slavery. Remember, and main organization which is related to this, that is ILO. International Labour Organization. Where is headquarter? Geneva, Switzerland. And who is the Director General? That is Guy Ryder, or the Guy Ryder. Remember, RYDER. GUYRYDER. He is currently the Director General of International Labour Organization and headquarter is in Geneva. So remember these things. These are very important. Move to next question. International Day of Persons with Disabilities. International Day of Persons with Disabilities, and it is marked on 3rd December 2020. Marked under 3rd December 2020. Why this day is celebrated? It is just to promote the participation of people with disabilities and to take action toward the inclusion of them in all aspects of the society and development. You have to include all the disabled persons so that they can't feel awkward in any type of the situation, and to boost their confidence we have to include in the every activity of the society and the development. So this is the main aim of this day, that is International Day of Persons with Disability on the 3rd of December. And what is the theme? Building back better toward a disability inclusive, accessible and sustainable post COVID-19 world. Because due to COVID-19 they are so much stressed, and we have to include them in all the aspects or all the developmental projects of the society. So this is the basic criteria of the 3rd December 2020. And main organization which is related, that is UNESCO. UNESCO, United Nations Educational, Scientific and Culture Organization. Where is the headquarter? That is in Paris. Headquarter of UNESCO is in Paris, France. And who is Director General? That is Audrey Azoulay. Remember, Director General of UNESCO is Audrey Azoulay. That is more important than ILO. Remember. Move to one-liner important point, guys. Here is first point. HDFC Life in association with Cato India has initiated Promise Wala Dabba, a nationwide crowdfunding campaign. Remember this, because this bank is, this insurance company is very important. That is HDFC Life. And this life insurance company in association with Keto.com started a campaign, that is Promise Wala Dabba. Just remember this keyword, Promise Wala Dabba. It is a nationwide campaign to support the Dabbawalas of Mumbai who have been affected due to the COVID-19 pandemic and the lockdown. So as a part of a campaign, a Promise Wala Dabba will be delivered that includes essential supplies such as staple food ingredients, spices, you can say the sanitizers, any toiletries. So these are very important for the Dabbawalas. That's why they are supplying these type of the things, and it is HDFC Life. Next is IIT Kanpur researcher developed Damru lattice for vibration isolation in high-speed trains and stealth submarines. And this Damru based lattice can be used for the absorption of the electromagnetic and the sonic wave. Now most important thing here is the IIT Kanpur. Just remember who developed this Damru lattice. Basically lattice is nothing else. Lattice you can say in simple words, it is a cross wooden or the metal strips usually arranged to form a diagonal pattern of the open space between the strips, or you can say an arrangement in the space of isolated points. This is basically a lattice, and they formed this lattice, Damru lattice to basically absorb the electromagnetic and the sonic wave absorption, and it is IIT Kanpur. Next is Union Education Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal constitute task force to impart technical education in mother tongue, so that everyone can receive the technical education in the mother tongue, so that everyone can understand very you can say the cumbersome things in very easy language, because we are talking about the mother tongue language. And who is the head of this committee? The Secretary of Higher Education, Amit Khare will become the head of this committee. Next is Universal Sompo General Insurance Company launched the upgraded Universal Sompo General Insurance mobile application that is known as Pulse. Just remember the name of the application, that is Pulse, and it is an application of a one insurance company that is known as the Universal Sompo General Insurance Company. So Universal Sompo General Insurance Company, and it is Mumbai, Maharashtra based company. Next is FinIn becomes India's first full-fledged consumer neo bank in partnership with SBM Bank India. Just remember, mark under the important section even, the first full-fledged consumer neo bank in partnership with SBM Bank India, that is State Bank of Mauritius. So remember, FinIn becomes India's first full-fledged consumer neobank. Neobank means they are fully operating on the digital methods. Next, inaugural meeting of US-India Counter Narcotics Working Group held virtually by Deputy Director General of Narcotics Control Bureau, Sachin Jain participated. Now here one important thing, even two important thing. One is the narcotics agreement between the US-India. That is very simple, that if the examiner is asking that recently narcotics agreement is signed between India and US. Second thing, this meeting is attended by which person? That is Sachin Jain. But Sachin Jain is not important. The main important thing is who is Director General of Narcotics Control Board or Narcotics Control Bureau. Because Sachin Jain is the Deputy Director General and the Director General is Rakesh Asthana. Here are one liner more important points. First is State of Tax Justice 2020 report released by Tax Justice Network. India annual tax loss over $10.3 billion, almost 70,000 crore. That is just a report. Just remember, this report is the first time released and it is released by Tax Justice Network. Next is Dr. Harshvardhan chaired Health Talks annual conference under Sweden-India Nobel Memorial Week. Just remember, it is India's and Sweden for the health issues. Next, India's Suriname hold 7th Joint Commission meeting virtually. Now the country important here is the Suriname, and what is the capital of Suriname? That is Paramaribo. Remember, Paramaribo is the capital of Suriname. Next, 31st edition of Konark Dance Festival held in Odisha. I already covered this news. Next, Southern Indian and Eastern Indian recorded a higher rate of increase in pollution level than the Indo-Gangetic Plain. This is also a report just for your information that South India and the Eastern India recorded higher rate of increase even with the good environment also. Next, DRDO creates new laboratory, Defense Geoinformatic Research, established by merging two DRDO labs, that is SASE and DTRL. SASE stands for Snow and Avalanche Study Establishment, that was located in Manali, Himachal Pradesh, and DTRL stands for Defense Research and Development Organization, that was in New Delhi. You can simply say DTRL, that is Defense Terrain Research Laboratory, not the DRDO. I already covered the DRDO. SASE and DTRL, these two laboratories combined and become one laboratory that is known as Defense Geoinformatics Research Establishment. Just remember, this is very important, and these are merged by the DRDO, and I covered DRDO. So guys, this is all for today, because today news are more, that's why it takes so much time, but I think you understand all the news. And if you like this video, then you have to subscribe our channel. You can press the subscribe button. You can press the bell button also, so that you can receive the notification on time. And guys, please provide 700 plus likes so that we can motivate ourselves and we can make more videos on the different content. It is Affairs Cloud promise that it will boost your confidence in the current affair and the general awareness section as well. And also it is my personal promise that if you're watching the videos regularly, and if you're reading the current affairs from the PDFs, then your current affairs section will definitely go strong, because 90% of the current affairs which are coming in any exam, it is covered by us in our current affairs PDF and the videos as well. So it is very important information for you guys, because 90% current affairs which are coming in exams are covered by our PDFs and the videos. Thank you guys for watching this video, and take care.